Would you like to support Cubs Out Loud? One way is to join us over on Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, patrons get early access to our shows, the pre and post show, and various other rewards. You can learn more at patreon.com/Cubs Out Loud. Thanks to all our patrons for their support in making this podcast. It's May the 4th be with you, 2025. And Jeff?
Who's your bear? That's right. I am your bear.
I'm Damon.
I don't brew the tea, I just serve it.
And that makes me Gary.
Everyone else is thinking it, and I just say it.
Welcome to Cubs Out Loud, the Bear Podcast of Indeterminate Length, episode number 784. And it's that time again. Besides the fact that happy May the 4th be with you.
And also with you.
But it's that time of the month. Where did I put the thing? It's been a while. Anyways, here we are. It's time for this.
One would say it's been a month.
Yeah, there we are. Yes. Monster hunting for me. With the occasional quick login to Final Fantasy 14 to make sure my house and FC is still intact. I've just been Monster Hunter. Even started watching some Monster Hunter speedrunning. Which there's some in GDQ, and then I took one of the people who have been doing it the past few years on their Hotfix show, and they did a run during SGDQ last year. Not last year? No, 2 years ago. And I was doing this cycle where I was going from World to Rise to Wilds, World Rise Wild, World Rise Wild. But then I just was like, I really like Wild so much, so I'm just gonna continue working on this. Anyways, I've got some other projects I would like to do here. Hey, I've got goals. Eventually, I'm hoping I'll get to the point where I will essentially have completed all those goals, and I will essentially have nothing else to do. Because there's a story, then it's just... But anytime I just want to go kill some monsters, I can jump in. But then I have World and Rise to try to complete and beat. And they have expansions, so I also have to do those. So...
Oh.
But then maybe it will fall off and I'll get back into an obsession with WoW or into Final Fantasy 14. I'll just have this, it'll be like seasons. This season's Monster Hunter, next season's WoW, next season, the following season is Final Fantasy 14, something like that. I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe all I need now is like a fourth oeuvre of game that I can put as a fourth season. Then you know, first quarter the year is this season, second quarter is this season, or something like that. I don't know. Yay, fun. Oh, by the way, did you know I'm playing it on an Xbox?
What?
I got it on an Xbox because I got an Xbox.
Ah. Yay.
Yeah.
Did you have a different... Are we playing...
No,
did you have something different before?
I just got this Xbox like this past month.
Oh.
Yeah. I was playing Monster Hunter World and Wilds on my computer, and then it was like, you know what would be really nice if I could put this on my new 4K TV. So I made the uh, probably bad decision to purchase that, and that was right before tax season.
Mm.
By the way, city taxes suck,
Yeah.
especially when they don't really have like some sort of online tool to file your taxes with.
Yeah.
But fortunately, I was able to do it by PDF. I know because
Mm.
they took my taxes. I saw with the withdrawal. It was right,
Lovely.
and then like a day or two later, I got my federal and state tax returns.
Yeah.
In the end, it kind of
Taxes
equaled
are
out.
something. Hmm. I was paying taxes for a city I don't live in because that's where I work for a long time until recently.
Yeah, but my job doesn't pull city taxes. They do state
Ah.
and federal, but they don't do city. And since the taxes
Mm.
you technically pay are the ones where you live, not where you work.
Right.
But if work is going to pay city tax, they're going to pay it to the city that they're in. And if they
Yep.
pay it to the city they're in, and you live in a different city, you essentially get a credit on your income tax
You should,
from it.
but you
So
don't.
it's, yeah, I don't know. But it was
It's
just really annoying. I couldn't like do something online to fill it out. I had to. Well, I kind of did because I downloaded the form and used PDF editor to fill it out and actually signed it via my phone. Saved it and sent it by a secure message on their website with my payment information. So all said and done, taxes got done late, but I did. Well, on time, but right last minute because I'm really bad at adulting. I'll be the first to admit it.
I will say this: you are not the only one.
Anyways,
If Jim and I didn't have, like, if we didn't have to literally go to the place to file our taxes, it would take forever. I used to do them myself, and I always did them last minute.
well, when all you have is you and nothing else that you need to deal with. No house, no marriage. I don't know. That's all I can come up with. I'm sure there's other things. I have a job
Yeah.
that actually takes my federal and state taxes.
Mm.
Because there are those people who are doing jobs that they're like independent contractors and they have to then pay the taxes later.
Yeah.
I basically
Yeah.
felt that paying the city taxes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in the end, I was like, oh, actually, this is pretty easy. I just need to make sure to fill in the dots and do some math. That's
Right.
it. That's all I need to do. The only thing is the amount that I have to pay next year will be a lot higher because one, I only had to pay for part of a year because I didn't move until May, and
Mm.
and two, I will be getting a raise. We have at work, we had just finished our annual evaluations, and they put us in what they refer to as performance bands. So you basically get a grade, but they only have so many that you can give for an A, so many for B, so many for C, or actually, I think as it goes like B, C, D, that's just more of how well you performed. A's are the ones that they can't give. They won't give everybody, so they're very sparse. But typically, you did good. if you got a B. You should be very happy with the B. But
Right.
if you get an A, just be very happy because that's the highest you possibly can, which means bigger bonus, annual bonus, and usually bigger raise. And then the benefits of getting the lower bands decreases as you go down. I don't know where it gets to the point where you just don't get a bonus and you don't get a raise because your performance is so bad. But B's, C's, and D's are strongly based on your actual performance, and then they just kind of have to pick out those with the exceptionals for the A's. So, and that just determines some additional things. So I'm waiting. Sometime this month, we should receive an email in our work email that says, "Hey, you're getting a raise. Here's your new annual salary and potential bonus." They always say potential bonus up to such and such amount. And then by June, that should come during one of the pay periods. I think it comes during one of the pay periods, not like some other time. I don't remember. It's been a while. Like a year.
Yes.
Anyways, Damon?
Cool. So started off the month with I went to Columbus again. Jim and I made our way up there to do a leather education series. A friend of mine was doing things up there and has been doing a couple of these educational series, leather life educational series, for a while. And this one was on contest. And it was really good. I mainly went because he wanted to have like a fantasy scene portion, so I went and talked about the fantasy scene. It was a pretty good trip. Despite Jim got a little sick the day or two before we were heading out, but he got better enough so that we headed there. We got to a hotel where apparently there was some sort of young youth sports thing going on, which is always fun when you're at a hotel and it's chock full of little kids running around. Great. Yeah. It was funny. We got there and I went to go check in, and the line was almost to the door. And I was like, this is taking a while. Let's go to dinner. So we went to dinner first and then we checked in. Near the end of the month, actually last weekend or weekend before last, the men's chorus had their chorus retreat, which is a big thing for me. A little busy, a lot of fun. We're preparing for our concert in actually in a couple of weeks. Shit, just realized it's a couple of weeks from now. And that was good. And I put down New Throne. So a month or so ago, we've been having issues with the toilet in our bathroom down here on the first floor for a while. It's running constantly, just a lot of weird things. So we called our plumber guys to come and check it. They looked at it, and the guy like opened it up, like pulled the like lid off and saw what it was, and he's like, "Oh, great! So you want a new toilet?" And again, it had nothing to do with like the toilet was functioning fine. It is just an old toilet that they don't make anymore. So it is cheaper to just replace the toilet than it is to get the parts to fix the toilet. Now he did not say, and this is where like these get a little weird. Like he did not say there was anything actually wrong with it. It's just that it was old. The thing that I remember specifically, it has like it's a water saver, so it has like a drum, like a tub in the middle of it, as opposed to like the tank fills up. It has like an area that it fills up in. It was weird. I didn't understand it. I didn't like the look of it anyway, so we replaced it with a new one. Um, we bought our own, so that saved us a bit of money. And we now have a new toilet. It's higher than the other one from before, and it's not as long, so it's not one of those elongated ones, but it's a decent toilet. So yeah, great fun.
So
You're
here's what it
you're
comes down
muted,
to.
Jeff. But Gary, go ahead.
Is it comfortable?
Yes, it's comfortable, and it's adjusting to its height a little bit because whereas before you were a little down, you're kind of like sitting upright. Like I don't know if the new toilets are now like 16 and a half feet, not feet, 16 and a half inches tall. Um, but it's comfortable. I personally like our toilet upstairs, which is one of the elongated ones, and I think we got it specifically for um, like a big and tall kind of toilet. This one is a little bit more standard.
Did you opt for a bidet?
No, we did not opt for a bidet. Not yet.
How about a benite?
A dumb tiss. Um,
Wait.
no.
Something.
No,
Oh, great.
We have that
no,
now. I have
the,
two soundboards.
no, it no bidet, not yet. We've talked about it though. I personally will own. I've never used one, and the idea of my ass being wet bothers me. Just
You dry yourself off
I
afterwards. Good
don't
gravy.
care. I'm just letting you know my hesitations.
Nobody should be using a bidet or a benite and walking around with wet ass. Like swamp ass is a summer thing, and that's a whole different situation.
Yes, that
But
is a
using
very
a
different
I thought it
bidet,
might help
like
with swamp ass.
I mean,
well, that part.
fact.
So,
But yeah, but no bidet yet. No benite ever. But
Is there actually a thing called
we were actually, weirdly enough, we were talking about it after we had gotten the new toilet installed, and we're like, let's think about it.
Yeah, there's
It's not
aftermarket
necessarily.
things you can add on to toilets.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I don't know how I'd feel if a toilet. I don't know how much it would fucking be. That's the other part. Like the ones that would come with one, like a combination of some kind. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not saying no. It is not off the table fully. It has actually, for the first time, literally been put on the table. We'll put it like that.
so perhaps that'll be a nice little gift that Jim and you give each other for the holidays this year.
Merry Christmas, here's your birthday.
Merry Christmas. I love you. Clean your ass.
I don't think I don't want that to be a gift. That kind of gift. Home improvement. Well, I never mind. I would say home improvement things shouldn't be gifts, but that's not true because I know that's not true. We've done it to each other.
Well, I know many couples like after this isn't the right phrase. I want to say after the honeymoon phase wears off, but it's like further down the road from that. It's like, what the fuck do I need? What do you need? And it's
Right.
turns into like there's not really anything on an individual level. And it's like, so then you look around and you're like, like, so it turns into, and there are some little things that you can do. And sometimes they make a big difference. Like, you update the bathroom and you change all like the handles on the drawers and the
Mm-hmm.
doors and like
Right.
the like the light switch plate. Like you
Mm-hmm.
install a new vanity sconce or lighting thing, or I mean there's just stuff that like
Right.
it's a little refresh, it's a little thing,
Mm-hmm.
something nice.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm not like I agree with you, Gary. Like literally, like most of the time now, it's sort of like, what do you want? I genuinely don't want anything. Like, what do you want for your birthday or what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, I don't know. Just something. And as opposed to when we were literally having a conversation this past week, actually, about what is the next project we want to do on the house. And I'm like, there are things I think about that I don't want to make a bigger. They are going to be a larger expense that I don't want to do right now. Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, I would, and I feel we would be on the same page. I think we want to remodel the kitchen, but a kitchen remodel is a big expense. Um, but that's a later on the down the line purchase. This is a small thing potentially to do because we've done something. We did a lot. We did a lot last year. Like we finally got the upstairs bathroom redone, and we got the year before that we got the AC. So maybe we should also take a break.
Fair.
Maybe. All right, Gary.
As Jeff already said a couple times, it's May the 4th. It's Star Wars Day. And the only reason why I kind of picked it was because I like seeing on the very minimal few like social media type things that I go on, all the geeky boys and bears and daddies and stuff that are kind of into things. Sometimes they're unexpected items, like apparently I think his name's Jamie Pritzker. I think he's the governor of Illinois. There's a picture of him and his wife dressed up. I wasn't expecting that, but I'm like, politicians can be nerdy geekies too, so it's nice. But yeah, it's been an interesting month. Work is getting intriguing. Been having some issues, not significant stuff, but just there's a lot of concern about what's happening with funding and things changing on the federal level have trickle down effects, and so everyone's really uncomfortable with this whole like everything's the same, like there's no change in course, you just keep moving ahead, and you're like, okay, but like everybody's already seen the iceberg and it's already kind of made contact, so shouldn't we be doing something? So yeah, there's that. But just a lot of work, not a lot of downtime. And now it's May and Pride season's coming up next month, so I'm trying to balance that stuff out. Take it a day at a time.
Yes.
That's kind of it.
Not so much for the month. Well, Gary, you know what I really like?
Cheese.
I like when people support us when the server costs come due, which they just did this last month.
Yes,
Actually, technically they're due this month, and my bank briefly said, "Hey, is this fraud?" And I'm like, "No, it's valid."
Nice.
How nice of them to ask.
Right?
Is this couple $100 random figure legit?
Even though you just bought an Xbox from Target
That
and a
they didn't
TV,
ding you on.
uh,
Right.
yeah, and there are people who support us. We refer to them as our patrons. Gary,
So we would like to give some Big Bear Cub hugs to our patrons, as Jeff was saying. At the Cubster level, we've got Charles W. and Michael K. At the Uber level, Dave T, Lee, and Michael Q. Plus our buddies, Cy, Lloyd, Michael V, and Owen.
the Patreon card left. I
Oh
can't show
no.
it. It's no longer in the appropriate spot. I don't know
Oh
where it went.
no.
Gary, did you accidentally move it?
Were you pulling it from the drive?
Well, yeah, I had it in the main art folder, but it's no longer there.
Well, I guess what I was saying is... Okay, never mind. I figured you already had it downloaded to your...
No. Why would I do that? Well, I kind of did.
Because then it
my
would be localized as a file.
Yeah, it is because the drive syncs. So it's on my computer,
Okay.
it's on the drive, and something changes in the drive, my computer syncs.
You crazy kids in your, like, modern... whatchamacallit. I will put it back. I thought it had to be replaced. So yes, I did end up moving it. Not knowing.
In any case, we thank our patrons.
Thank you, patrons. You're
You know who you
awesome.
are. And then you got it.
There, done.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, it needs to sink back down.
What?
It needs to sync again. Like that's...
So there's some delay. Anyways, while you're doing that, while that's happening,
wait for technical difficulties.
Gary,
Please,
We're back to that whole not a professional podcast thing, aren't we?
yeah.
Yes. I am a professional. No, I'm not.
Gary, we in April we had 4 shows. Tell us about it.
We did. So we did the What's Going On for the month of
3.5.
March. What?
3.5, really.
Yeah. So we did the What's Going On for the month of March a couple weeks ago. And then I let my co-host geek out. And we did an episode called Comic Book Culture Then versus Now. This was mostly their experiences and opinions and things, because I'm the one that didn't really get into that. So, and then we did Let's Talk About Sex series. We did First Experiences, and then to Jeff's what he was saying last week, 783 was called Testing, where we are on a new platform, new for us to be using, I should say. Because is it officially gone?
I don't know. I didn't
As
check
of today.
Apparently, there's a thing called Skype dial pad now.
you.
But I think that might be for making video calls
tomorrow.
or something.
Is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow's the shutdown date. Today could have been the last day, but it's okay. So, anyways, Skype is going away officially. It's being retired as of tomorrow, May 5th.
May 5th. Do I want
And so they're shifting and focusing on Microsoft Teams.
Lovely.
The impact is Skype will no longer be available for free or paid users. Microsoft is encouraging users to migrate to Teams with their contacts. Skype for Business is not affected by the shutdown. How interesting.
Well, it makes sense. If a business, because as someone who has, I mean, we all have in a way worked with companies that have like specific software that they use and have been using forever. Um, After a while, like even though it's no longer valid or you like updated or whatever, they will still allow people, businesses to use it. Um, for example, up until about, I would say, 5, 10 years ago, we were still at my job using Internet Explorer.
I still have a software online software system that I use, Edge, in internet or in IE mode
Yeah, I have
because
to
it's
do
never
that.
been updated.
Oh God, I just realized I have to figure out how to do that because we have a old system that we were using that was only used through Internet Explorer, and now that I'm kind of like, and my boss, I think still had access. I didn't, and now my boss, and so I may need to figure that shit out.
Yeah. No, I hear you on that. Yeah, we have to use something pretty much daily. And a couple years ago, they were like, a little IE was going away, and they were like, "Oh well, there's the workaround. You could use Edge, but you have to tell it to load it in Internet Explorer mode." Blah 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 blah. And nothing's changed. It's been like that for years, so we're still using that. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, great. Way to go, kids.
does Internet Explorer
Sites
exist
to be
anymore?
reloaded in Internet Explorer mode, IE mode. Browsing in Microsoft Edge, if a site requires Internet Explorer for compatibility, you can choose to reload it in Internet Explorer mode.
Yeah. And it's been going on for so long that most of us at work know how to do it. Like, so like half of us know how to do it, half of us don't remember how to do it because it expires every like 30, 60, 90 days or something. I can't remember
Yeah,
the setting.
it's so fucking weird.
So invariably we'll be in a meeting, we'll be using this software, we'll go to use it, and then it won't load, or you'll know when it's not loading right because I think it must be using Flash because like they're like it'll load a web page, but then it's blank. So like you
Mm,
know you're on the right page, but there's just no content, no info to look at, and then we're like, everybody grumbles, and you have to like log out and then reload it, and then tell it to open it Internet Explorer, go back. Anyways, it's just a big thing.
it's a
But
pain.
usually someone in
It's
the
a
room
pain.
remembers because I'm the one that usually forgets. And I usually say, and I can't remember how to load it right. And then someone's like, oh, well, you just go here, click this in the settings, this, done. So, anyways.
Oh, excuse me.
So, yes, because of Skype going away, we have switched over. So, last week was us trying to figure out if this was going to work or not. And we're here.
Mhm.
It does.
So far, so
Here
good.
we are. Here we are, face to face.
As it
Right.
is. The only weird thing is, depending on who comes into the call first, dictates their position on this overlay this way. I'm always here because I'm using my internal camera. These guys I have to pull from Discord.
Nice.
I could move them around, but I'm too lazy. The other way.
The other way?
Okay. You're pointing both ways.
I'm trying to watch the. Huh?
You're pointing both ways right now.
Well, yeah, because I'm trying to like. I'm watching the. This isn't working. I'm trying to watch the live stream, but it's on delay, so it's so bad. I'm like.
Okay.
I definitely was pointing the wrong way. That way, and then that way. I was trying to point to both Jeff and Damon on the live stream.
No. We're both in the same general direction. You just have to point one down, one over. Like I'm doing, except you have to do it the reverse. Actually, you do it the exact same way because I have my camera flipped.
Well, no, but I was like watching. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Hi, welcome to Old Farts Who Don't Understand Technology. Today's podcast.
Here we are. So here we are. And we do have a Discord server. There is a public portion to it. haven't figured out how to permanently get a link that we could just link it to everybody so they can join the Discord if they don't want to join Telegram, or if you want to do both. I mean, it's up to you. I don't judge.
Okay, then let's do this. We listen and we don't. Oh God. Anyway,
Hmm?
we listen and we don't judge. We listen and we don't judge.
Okay.
It's the TikTok thing. It's fine. Don't worry about
but blue skies from now on.
That's my way.
Never
of
gonna get old.
remembering.
Every month. Every month.
it.
Every
It is
time.
such a weird transition. I swear to God.
It's so funny because the musical faggot in you is like, woo, Broadway song. And then like you remember what the song is for
Right,
and what it means.
right.
And then
We're
you're
like, why? Whoa. Oh, okay. There we go.
Anyways, Damon,
so the
what did
face
you
of
about
find
Paul
on
porn?
this
just
guy?
cracks me up every time.
So Paradise by the Bathhouse Lights from Jason the Rogue or Jason the Slut. And yeah. Surprise, surprise. A bald headed, bearded
Billy
daddy
Boy.
bear type, naked. Obviously, and this is like his Paradise by the Bathhouse Lights is very accurate because this is probably a bathhouse room that I can tell he's in.
Is it the
I
wood
can also,
paneling or the floor
it's
that
the,
gives
it's
it
the
away?
it's the wood paneling that gives it away. And if you look to the far like right of the picture, there's the very like the frame and the very thin mattress on top.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty dark and blue,
yeah.
but
Well, the blue light's probably coming from the TV that has like the porn on it, but obviously it's not on the porn yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you know, nice chubbed up, peen, sexy bear,
very handsome.
very nice. Yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. Makes you want to go to the bathhouse again a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I would go if he was there. I'm just saying.
Right?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same.
that's fair.
Yeah. But I'd have to know who's there, but which is harder to do. Anyway, that's the Gary.
So I have two items. One of a historical value. I called it Alan Hale Jr.'s ... package. So there's
Mhm. Yeah.
there's an account called Big Bear Balls. And if you didn't know, there happened to be this sitcom back in the day called Gilligan's Island.
Right.
And Alan Hale Jr., who played Skipper, infamously had some big old nuts. And why do we know this? Because on the TV show, he always was hanging left in all these images.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
His nutsack is very prominent. And so he has been historically a man of fantasy for several people. Yeah.
I have seen the occasional picture of this pop up because surprise, surprise, bears are horny, and I was just like, yeah, and it's obvious that they, you know. So I'll put it like this: I think back then they didn't care, quote unquote. I don't think we were like paying as much attention to it. There was also a whole like we can have a whole conversation about like female modesty versus male modesty, but whatever. Anyway, but like it was probably we can't cover this up.
Well, I was going to say, like, there's no such thing as a modesty panel in this case. Like, the
Yeah.
only thing they would probably have done differently is they probably would have given him black pants instead of
Right.
tan pants. So that way, like, his big old nutsack wasn't
Yeah.
like
I'm sure
always
that
prominently.
even a
visible.
different style of pants that provide a little more space or something. But
I've seen as someone whose husband it's pretty much like this is like my husband. Like I just own it. Like, yeah, you're gonna get the moose knuckle. You're gonna get you're gonna see him. Like no matter what you do, unless you are, as Gary said, unless you wear like a darker pant,
Right.
to where it.
It's
I
not
mean,
as
even
obvious.
then, no offense, you're probably still gonna see it. But it's
Yeah, but it's more subtle when it's in
Yeah.
dark fabric. When it's in brighter fabric, it's just obvious.
yeah, like if you look at the first picture of the 4 here, it's not as bad. Like it's there, it's clearly there, but like it's not as it's not like a tumor sitting on the side of his leg.
Like normally watching the show, for somebody who's not necessarily looking for these things and trying to undress them with their eyes, they probably wouldn't even notice.
Yeah,
Other things are going on, and who knows how long he was actually sitting there, and or how quickly the camera switched
true,
angles. Like
true.
this could be a short establishing shot, and then it switches to more of a mid shot or something much closer into their faces, so you don't see it from there. So those type of things.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Still, good pictures, good shots. Ah, the skipper. That's the story. That's another story. Anyway.
And then the second one I called Fibonacci FFF.
I've seen
So
this one.
if you know about the
Oh.
math calculation of the Fibonacci sequence, Midwest Gay Bear posted a picture of themselves and put the Fibonacci sequence graphic over top of it. But it's really spot on because he's got his long sleeve thermal type shirt pulled up so his belly is exposed, but it's a profile picture. So you're seeing his belly, the curvature of it matches to the curve within the Fibonacci sequence, but he also pulled his pants down, and so his butt's there. So like you just kind of can't help but follow the curves.
Kirby and Survey. I've seen this picture done before, not by Midwest Gay Bear, but I've seen it by others. It's always fun to see.
Yeah.
Because it's true. Some of us can hit that curve very well.
Yeah, so he posted happy Fat Fuck Fridays, boys. So hence the FFF.
Oh, he isn't shy. That's good to know. Oh my. And
Then he really shows his face, but he shows pretty much everything else.
right. It's kind of nice.
I mean,
A little bit of his nose down, so you get to see his beard, but not his full face.
I mean, but the reality is, like, do you need to see all of that?
I do.
I would like it. You know,
Sometimes.
I mean, if you're
thing,
the
but, you know
thing
what?
is, if
It's
you're
fair.
objectifying
Someone-
them,
if he doesn't
in
want to
this
show it, that's
moment,
fine.
no.
I'm not
No.
going to force him to do anything.
No.
Right.
I'm not going to ask him to show me his face. Because
I would
I've
like
got
to,
a lot
but-
here that I've got a lot here that I'm enjoying already. I don't. Anyway, well, okay, I have to close his. I have to close. I'm going to move on. Let's move on.
Moving on into the links. So during my Monster Hunter adventure this past month, I got into, I want to watch some content. So I watched some guy who does some ecology documentary style videos about the Monster Hunter world and Monster Hunter creatures, and it was really interesting. But what I want to show is somebody who is featured on an annual event, and in their between event shows, because they really have two events. So if you've heard of Games Done Quick, they do AGDQ, which stands for Awesome Games Done Quick, and they have Summer Games Done Quick. Two charity events, which go for a week, I think. 24 hours a day. They have speedrunners playing games, breaking them, and trying to get through as fast as possible. And they've got commentary running with it. Well, between those two events, their Twitch stream and YouTube channel have different programs when they show speedrunners. And one of those speedrunners was for Monster Hunter. His name is Jal Bagel. And he's run Monster Hunter World for GDQ Hotfix, which is the between shows or between event shows. But he was also 2 years ago, he was at SGDQ, Summer Games Done Quick, doing Monster Hunter Rise. So I wanted to pimp him out. He's currently working on a GDQ submission for Monster Hunter Wild, the brand new Monster Hunter game that launched in March. And I'm linking his Twitch and his YouTube channel where you can see some of his past speedruns that he's recorded. And also a link to his video where he did Monster Hunter Rise for Summer Games Done Quick.
Neat.
Yeah, it's long, but Monster Hunter Rise one is like just over an hour. The Rise is actually pretty quick to run. World takes about 2 to 3 hours. Actually, 3 hours on average. And that's just the base games, not including the expansions for both of them. But you gotta find for games which take a lot of time to get through. You kind of have to find this like midpoint, because usually at that point is basically the end of the base game. Then there's end game for them, but that's not included, because usually that's just hunting monsters, making armor, just for funsies. Gary?
If you didn't know, a new little movie came out just this weekend from Marvel called Thunderbolts, with an asterisk at the end. As I've talked about previously on the show, like I was a latecomer to like Marvel, didn't see the original like first phase of movies. But I've become more and more acquainted with it. I like watching the shows on Disney Plus for the most part. Well, there's one show that nobody wants to talk about anymore. Understandably so, because it wasn't done that great. But that being said, I was looking forward to this, and I found like the marketing and everything very interesting. And I went in thinking it was a 90-minute movie, and it's 2 hours. And the reason why I'm talking about that is because like the timing of it, I was like, oh, I'll go in at this time, I'll get out at this time. And then when the movie was fully over, so there's a mid-credit scene, and then there's a very end substantial post-credit scene.
Got it.
That people should probably stay to watch if you haven't already had it spoiled for you. And then I looked at my watch and I was like, holy shit, like I've been here for over 2 hours, like since the start of the movie. Because infamously, movies never start at the time that they're supposed to start. Like, we've got to get all the previews and the commercials and crap out of the way. So
right.
It's good. It's fun. I am not in the camp of like these like, you know, reviewers and people who are so analytical that are talking about like it's the best, not the best ever, but like top ranking 10, 5, whatever, depending on the time frame that you're looking at. But it goes into subject stuff that I was not prepared for, but handled well. Yeah, a little bit of a trip. So I could see that there's some things they could have done, would have helped, but in the end, it's good, it's fun. They introduce a new villain, Question mark. Slash hero. For those that know the Marvel Universe, you know who Sentry is.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Yes.
character is introduced.
Interesting.
So that yeah. Anyways, it's complicated. But yeah, no, it was good, and I'm so glad that I went on opening night. Like, saw it in the theater. I do want to say this though, and this is just like crotchety old man thing. When I go to a movie theater to see a movie, I want to watch the movie.
Fair.
What I forget about, because I don't go out in public as much as I used to, especially going to the movies, unless I'm willing to invest my almighty dollars in a movie ticket instead of waiting. I forget that some people just don't really have social cues, like, or awareness around them. It's not really dragging, it's just bitching. Like, there was like 10 of us in the whole theater, I think. Like, it wasn't packed or anything. And that's not a criticism. It's just like, I mean, they showed it like, I don't know, like at a dozen different times, on the very first night on Thursday. But the thing is, like, when there's 4 of you and you're 2 rows behind me, and all I can hear up until the movie literally is starting is just like back and forth, like, bantering and bickering and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God, people, shut the fuck up. Or take it down half. Like, not everyone here needs to hear what the hell you're talking about.
Fact. My fat fan's not in it's in the living room, so I can't grab it again. But as someone who used to ride public transportation all the time, the thing I hated the most, please realize where you are. You are not at home. This is not your home. You're in a public space. Anything you say can and will be used against you, depending on what you're doing.
And not even in the court of law necessarily.
Yeah, well, the court of public opinion. We'll put it like that.
There you
Or
go.
Damon's opinion.
Girl. But just like I've heard conversations about people's medical stuff, like having a full on conversation with a doctor's office, like on the phone, on a bus, heading down. I don't know if they're heading to their doctor or not, but like they are having a full on conversation about something medically going on with them that maybe you should shut the fuck up about. Like, just full on.
Yeah.
And then like you in the movie theater, just having it irks me to my bones that, like, having a full on conversation like you were sitting on your couch at home. Like,
Right.
This is not your couch at home. There are other people here. Please,
Right.
like you said, either take it down to where maybe I don't have to like listen to it, or could potentially tune it out, or just don't have the conversation.
So, my thoughts on this is, I agree to an extent. When the trailers start rolling, I expect everything to quiet down. But during the trailers, I don't expect it to be like dead silence or anything in the audience. The little murmuring, talking and at a low tone around, that's fine. It's just the trailers. It's just commercials. It's fine. But once the movie has, I want it no talking. In fact, after the trailers, at the place that I used to go to, the Alamo Draft House, they would kick you out for that.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
So depending on how loud they were, like if I could make out their conversation, it's definitely too loud.
Right.
And then there's like a little range underneath that. But if I just hear kind of like,
Bitch.
Right.
like barely hear it, then I'm like, that's fair. As long as during the movie you shut up, maybe the occasional like whisper or commentary reaction to what's happening on screen. I'm okay with reacting to what's on screen. If you find
Right.
something funny, laugh. That's one
Yeah.
of the great things about being a movie theater is you get this kind of catharsis. I don't know if that's the right word. Where you get this energy and feelings from other people about what's happening on screen. Just like those big moments, like the Captain America catching the hammer in Endgame.
Right. Right.
Just that whole Avengers assemble scene. Yeah. And just hearing the crowd roar at these type of things. Just the he said the thing type of thing.
Mhm.
Those type of things and reactions like that, totally for. If a Roadrunner and Coyote cartoon go on before a movie, I expect anybody in that theater to be laughing hysterically. Unfortunately, when I saw that, I was the only one laughing hysterically.
Who's
Kids
that?
these days don't understand Roadrunner and Coyote, some of the best
Yeah.
cartoons in all the world.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
reaction to the screen, that's one thing. Complete
Yeah.
other conversation. I can
Again.
make out everything you're saying.
Yeah.
If you're way far back and I can't make it out, but you're still being loud and talking, like you say, like you're on the couch at home and talking. Yeah, that's rude. That's
Yeah.
rude. They should
I-
just be flat out kicked out. I want to put a flag up and then have a waiter walk by with his head ducked down or their head ducked down, grab it, look at it, go get the manager and have them kicked out of the theater. I would love to
Right.
do that. But
Yeah.
you know, most movie theaters, they don't give a rat's ass. They just want your money.
Well,
Yeah,
and
I
they
mean,
already got your money.
Correct. I mean, and that's understandable. I agree with you, Jeff. Like I don't mind that people are having a conversation during like commercials and even in the trailers. Just be respectful of the space that you're in. That's all I'm
Yeah.
asking about. Like kind of like what, Damon was saying about, being on mass transit and like, this thing, people walking around with the phone, like it's the weirdest thing. Like they walk around and they put it in front of their face like it's a candy bar and I'm like, it's a phone. Like yes, it's a mini computer, but like this part up here has a speaker in it. It goes next to your ear, and this part down here is where the microphone is. And it goes next to your whole, like to your mouth. Like it's not that big of a deal, and it doesn't
can
need to
pick
be on
up when
speakerphone.
it's beside your mouth.
Yeah.
And if you're doing the headset thing, going like this is better than just going like this. Because going like this when you've got like you're using like for my case, my AirPods,
Mhm.
going like this is ridiculous. Just keep your phone down if you need to look something up and just normal gestures or something. In fact, in some sense, you don't even need it in your hand. You can put it in your pocket when in the wireless headset days. So
Yeah.
don't look like a
Yep.
douche.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's really the only reason why I brought this up, kind of as a rant, is to just simply say, just be respectful. Like I'm being respectful around you. I turn the brightness down on my phone. I never, hardly ever have the sound on my phone that people could hear it. Like, because
Right.
I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, I just became overwhelmed and annoyed everywhere I went because it seemed like everybody had a goddamn obnoxious like ringtone. And I was just like, no, unnecessary. The phone
your watches,
vibrates. It's
mute your
plenty good
phone.
enough.
If you
Yeah.
do
Some have that.
if you do the like this thing where you're kind of like covering it up and being like that, just make sure it's like a quick look. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's fine. If you're
I-
doing like a quick
I-
look, but you're still trying to at least minimize the amount of light coming out.
Yeah. Like I've again, it's been a minute since I've been in the movie theater, but I do think I follow like some like general like social etiquette kind of moments where like I'm not going to have a conversation during a movie. Like, if you are like you were saying, we've been saying, like if you like utter words are having a conversation unrelated to the movie, unless you absolutely have to. I know that there are reasons for that, but like then like yes, get out. Like, you need to go.
If you're
But,
explaining
like,
what's going on to the screen to the person next to you, just do it in quiet
Yeah.
whispers.
yeah. Like, there are things that you
That's
can't.
okay,
That, like,
but do it
Yeah.
quietly.
and parents with children, like, having to, like, talk to them and stuff like that. I get that. Like, the last movie Jim and I saw, I think, was Little Mermaid, maybe in a theater, I think. And next to us were like a family, and obviously they have kids. They're going to talk. Like, that's just the way it is. Like, we know this.
Mhm.
But they were mostly respectful, mostly understood. The parents sort of sat on opposite, like, the kid. No, I'm lying.
Them.
They didn't.
Or
Never
did
mind.
they
Nope.
do that every other, so there's at least one parent on one
Right.
one
Yeah,
side
it was
them?
parent child. Yeah, that's what they did. And I mean, it's fine. It was fine. Like I said, they were fine. They talked a little bit, but never too crazy. And but then, like, to kind of, like, caveat, like, flip the head, in front of us was an older couple, and they could not stop talking for a while. It got to it. They stopped like 2 minutes into the movie, sort of starting, because I think they got the hint. Not from me. No, not from me. But just, I think other people, fortunately, were like, there were no active, like, sessions, but just, like, they got the hint.
Well, that I think that's the show.
I do want to see Thunderbolts. I may have to see the movie. Random aside.
Or Disney Plus later. Who knows?
True that too.
Hey,
Considering
I've
we've
got a
just
home
been, like,
bottle, it'll be
back
fine.
to the movie theater.
Anyways, that's the end. Congratulations to our first successful full episode using Discord. I'm just gonna do that. I'm not gonna hit the plus button. That's okay. Anyways, Playways to contact us. How's it look? Does this seem fine? Was it weird that Damon was down where Gary normally is, and the Gary's normally where Damon normally is? I gotta make sure I'm gesturing in the right direction. I mean, I couldn't do anything about that because of the way they came in, the order they came in. So we're gonna just have them flip on occasion. Somebody
It's
say,
okay
"Flip
to
that."
be verse and to switch your position.
Yeah.
We accept that here.
Yes. All sides are valid.
Including sides. Playways to contact us. Pop over to our website, cubsoutloud.com. Shoot us an email, cubsoutloud@gmail.com. Leave us a voicemail at 361-COL Talk. That's 361-265-8255. Follow us on Blue Sky, Facebook, Tumblr, and YouTube at Cubs Out Loud. The appropriate place of the URL. Join our Telegram chat at bit.ly/telegram-COL. Feel free to ask in there for a Discord invite, and I can get you one. If you're not in the Discord, that's another place we can go to. But I haven't figured out the permanent link thing, so here we are for right now. You can also find out when we're recording these shows on our Google Calendar at bit.ly/calendar-COL. You get various accoutrements at zazzle.com/cubsoutloud, such as, well, the Coalition of Connected Kinksters shirt, or Consented My Foreplay. Some of these designs were designed by Smashy. You can find more of his work at tpublic.com/user/Smashy the Bear. Thanks to all of our patrons once again for helping pay the server costs for the website. You can also send us a donation at paypal.me/cubsoutloud if you'd like. You can also find us on the various podcasting platforms, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify. Please like us, rate us, review us there. Also, like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube. We appreciate that very much. You can find me anywhere on the internet. It's Boxset, Box Puppy, Box Cub, Box something or other. Damon is muted.
I was looking at other things. Yes, if you want to get in touch with me, you can find me as TheaterCub79. That's TheaterCub79 on most related sites. Or you can find me as pup_umbra on one site, or pup_79 on Blue Sky. Those are my safe for work. For the safe for work stuff, you can find me as DMAGamer79 on TikTok, Blue Sky, and etc.
If you would like to get in touch with me, you can pretty much find me anywhere online as GearBear73.
And with that, say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good one, y'all.
Bye.